Hello, I have Patricia Lindner with me here today. Hi, Patricia, and thank you for joining me this morning. Patricia has been a head teacher in Bavaria for a number of years and is making a career transition, a very interesting career transition. Patricia, can you just tell me a little bit about your career transition, what this entails?
Of course. So I think it is the last phase of this career transition, as it has been going on for a couple of years now. So I stopped working in my old career 3.5 years ago and just tried to recover from some health issues of course. And now I think this is the light at the end of the tunnel of this long phase. And I wish I would have met you earlier, because maybe then the long and winding road would have been shorter.
And I wanted to ask you, what was the problem when you met me and we talked about working together? What was the problem that you needed to solve? What was happening for you?
So first of all, I really need to openly share, this was not a problem that I was aware of that had to do with the job transition. So it was more a private problem that really kept me from doing things. And this was having to deal with a lot of anxiety around driving. And so I did not get the connection. It was something that really affected my private life, and I felt so insecure about driving a car. And this anxiety came out of the blue, out of nowhere. It started all of a sudden a couple of years ago, and it really kept me shackled and dependent. And so this was the main issue, and this really drove me crazy. And of course, it affected my career transition as well.
Yeah, because it's going to inhibit your movements, obviously, your mobility, the feeling of freedom, moving forward, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you've already said, in essence, how this was affecting your confidence. Undermines.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like needing to ask people to just take me from A to B, or trying it out to get into the car and just driving for a short distance, and then figuring out, oh, the anxiety is coming, and this is really disappointing and also frustrating.
Yes, absolutely. And when we first met and spoke and got to know each other, what made you decide to work with me?
I love the way you work with your clients, this approach that is very intelligent and very effective, very rapid working. And you really, so I liked that you had the ability to put words to what my subconscious issue was. So I don't know if this makes sense, but while working with you, so many things became clearer, and so many things just were resolved in the first session, and then a continuous liberation took place. And I think a big part is that you are so concise and you are so to the point when you put words to everything. So your words are like magic. This is what I can remember, and what really helped me so much. I like your intelligent and eloquent way of working with people.
Well, thank you. That's very, very nice to hear. And I mean, I love my work, but I will say one thing. My work is very client-led. And the thing is, when people say this, it's really about having the clients understand their own words. So all this really is about yourself and your own words putting to your situation. And that's the beauty of the method, I think, is that it really is about the client with their language and their words coming through. And I can really see that with you. And I wanted to ask as well, I know when we started our work together, you talked a little bit about that you had tried hypnotherapy, because I work with rapid transformational therapy, which is a hybrid form of hypnotherapy. And you said you had tried hypnotherapy before.
Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about your experience there and what was different about the rapid transformational method?
Yeah, so this is a very good question, because I just thought about, I wanted to add that I always felt safe when working with you, and this was not the case when I worked with this hypnotherapist in my area, who didn't really make me feel safe and supported, and it was more. It was a very different approach. I felt not understood.
Yeah, the method I work with works in a very particular way. And safety is first, obviously, always first for my clients, safety is paramount. And I'm glad that you had that experience, of course. So what in particular did you like most about this approach or technique, just in a few words, just off the top of your head?
Yeah, so to really say this in a nutshell, the most amazing thing was that within one session, we went so deep and to the core of the issue that I was so amazed by what is possible in only, I think it was 90 minutes. And that when listening to the recording that you provided, it was like peeling off more layers. But the main work, this is my experience, started in this single session, this beginning session of this process. And this was so amazing. I never could have come to this point of discovering the root cause. And this is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad. The experience, it's all about the client's journey. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
All about the client's journey. And what value would you place on your session, on the work that we did together?
So I could say this very quickly and without embellishment, it is priceless.
Perfect. Yeah. And what happens with your driving? How is the driving now?
I still can't believe it, because I think it's 1 year ago, and it still works. It is a sustainable thing, and it really helped me drive safely, without any hesitation, without anxiety.
That's
and
excellent.
So when I just wonder, what did she do that now everything is all right?
And would you recommend, what would you recommend to others?
So if you are dealing with an issue, no matter what it is, but mainly if something is holding you back. So I think this is something that most people deal with, and this is buried in the subconscious, and we can't access it, and we can't solve this issue with our thinking mind. Then I would highly recommend everyone reaching out to you, Carrie, because you really work wonders, and your method works wonders. And people who don't take this step, they really have, I think looking back on their lives would be something that they'd regret, because this is a waste of time, and it is it is really a lot of stress and struggle that they have to deal with. So they could really solve this issue in an instant when reaching out to you. And so this is my recommendation. Do it. Trust this method. Trust Carrie, because this will be a game changer and a life changer.
And trust yourself, most important. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing about your developments, and thank you so much for joining me here this morning.
Thank you for having me, Carrie.